prog guitar hero and one of Canada's greatest exports, Alex Lifeson, had fans rejoicing around the world with the release of his Epiphone signature Les Paul. And joining the ranks is this brand new Les Paul Custom Axcess in Ruby. This Les Paul Custom variation takes inspiration from the Rush legend's previous Gibson custom shop Les Pauls, but of course taking away a few extra zeros from that price tag. We go through all of the tonal potentials of this amazing guitar, so if you do want to skip to any of them, we do have chapters below highlighting everything that this guitar could do. But before we get into them, let's run through some specs and differences from his last Epiphone signature model. Alex Lifeson's mission with his previous Epiphone Les Paul was to give you like a bit of a custom shop quality guitar at a kind of fraction of the cost, and to be fair, I absolutely think they've nailed it with this guitar. So let's break down some of the key differences between this new custom model and the Les Paul standard that was released a few years back, if anyone is familiar with that. Of course, the most obvious difference being the sort of move from the standard to the custom Les Paul. Now, that's mostly to do with aesthetics, obviously with the triple binding on the body, the binding on the headstock, the diamond on the headstock as well, and the block inlays on an ebony board. I think these all suit really, really well with this guitar. Another key difference for those who were familiar with the previous model is the choice not to include a piezo system with that. Now, obviously that takes away some of those acoustic sounds that came with the standard model, but fret not, as this still does have independent coil splits for each humbucker there and a phase control, so you can get absolutely tons of sounds out of this. The pickups in this are the same as the standard model as well, with a Pro Bucker 3 in the bridge and a ceramic Pro in the neck for anyone who did want to know. Of course, the inclusion of a Floyd Rose on a Les Paul is, in my opinion, the coolest feature on this guitar, and for anybody who's obviously familiar with Rush or Alex Lifeson, know how much this is essential to his guitars. Finally, before we get into the bulk of the sounds, and behind this quadruple A veneer quilt top is kind of one of the coolest features, and certainly one of the, the reasons why this guitar is named an Axcess. And it's this neck heel here, which Gibson and Epiphone call their Axcess heel, previously kind of only seen on custom shops until the release of his previous model, and also their Prophecy series, which shares a bit of a similar sort of feel, but certainly for me, from playing this for kind of a good little while since we've had it, this heel along with the rounded neck are just, it's an absolute pleasure to play. I've not had any issues with it at all. My hand hasn't been cramping, and just, it gives you absolute proper full access up to the dusty end of the fretboard if you're in any way inclined to go there. The other usual Les Paul appointments as well, with a mahogany body, a 24.75 inch scale radius. It's going to be pretty similar for kind of anybody who's familiar with Les Pauls. I think you'll get on really well with this. So let's hear how this thing sounds. We're running through a Fender Princeton today, and I'm using a Line 6 Helix just for all the pedals. I'm gonna go for just kind of all out rock and really show what this guitar is capable of doing. So safe to say that this guitar can fit into an absolute ton of scenarios or genres. You know, I think anything you throw at this, whether it be big monster riffs, really nice cleans, or kind of anything in between, I think it will really suit you. I mean, I guess that's why Alex Lifeson uses it, because he needs so many tones at his disposal. So obviously this is going to be, you know, an absolute day one purchase for many Rush and Alex Lifeson fans, because it's so sort of synonymous with what he plays. I think it's really worth looking at this just as something that is, you know, just for anybody who wants just like the top of the line sort of Epiphone Les Paul, with the inclusion obviously of so many sort of sound options, the Floyd Rose, which, you know, may be a deterrent for some people, but I mean, come on, a Floyd Rose and a Les Paul, like, look how cool this thing looks. But yeah, if it's in the studio, if it's on stage, if you just want this kind of all-in-one guitar that still encompasses that of a Les Paul, you know, you're not really going to get much stuff that is that big kind of chunky mahogany powerhouse that everybody's used to. But then with the flick of a switch, you've got that much more sparkly sort of S-type sound that maybe some people want as well. And, you know, that's all from the one guitar. For a little bit of immediate gratification for anyone, here is how the coil splits actually sound from humbucker to single coil. But what do you think? Let us know down in the comments below if you'll be rushing out to get this, or if it's, you know, if you're just going to kind of leave it just to say, I don't have any other Rush puns, I'm so sorry for that. But of course, like and subscribe down below. That's very essential, and I'm sorry to keep saying it like every other YouTube, but, you know, it really does help the channel, so thank you so much. But until then as well, let us know what other gear you'd like us to demo, what other guitars you'd like us to talk about. But until then, my name's been Keiran. Have a great day.